Hey there, everybody. Time once again for the Suwannee Sports Report. The Sports Report here on River Country is brought to you by Roundtree Moore Ford on Highway 90 in Lake City, Florida. Roundtree Moore Ford, they've got everything you need. If you're looking for a new car, if you're looking for a pre-loved car, if you're looking for service on your current vehicle, they can take care of you. Part of the Morgan Automotive Group, dedicated to delivering exceptional service and a wide selection of quality vehicles. Roundtree Moore Ford, Highway 90 in Lake City, Florida. Wayne Littrell, along with Tom Daniels and head coach Billy Moran. It's the Diamond Dog Podcast here on the Suwannee Sports Report, and we'll be back to talk with Coach Moran right after this timeout. Keep it here on rivercountrysports.com.
In the heart of the red zone is where the game is won, and you need a dealership that knows about scoring big. At Roundtree Moore Ford, we've scored this area's largest selection of new and pre-owned inventory, and right now, we're scoring rates as low as 0%. It's time to get out of the stands and score big in the Roundtree Moore Ford red zone. At Roundtree Moore Ford, the customer always wins. So make your next ride a touchdown at RoundtreeMoreFord.com today.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Van Carpet One. For 78 years, we've been your local family-owned and operated floor covering store, and we can't wait to serve you. Let's go check out some of the stuff we've got and say hey to the guys.
Hey guys, this is Michael Van here at Van Carpet One. Wanted to show you our huge display of carpet. Got about 1,000 rolls for you that we can order. We also keep about 100 in stock that are on clearance, so please come down and give us a visit. We appreciate it.
Come in and see the largest tile collection in North Florida. Van Carpet One has every tile you could possibly imagine. If you can't find it here, they don't make it. Guys, take a look at this. This is just some of our options in waterproof vinyl plank, where we have the largest selection anywhere around here, including over 70 pallets in stock, ready to go right now. Come in and see our fantastic selection of elegant hardwood too, followed up by fantastic service that you expect from a company like Van Carpet One.
Come on in and see us.
We can't wait to serve you. And that's a boom shakalak.
And back here on the Sports Report with Coach Billy Moran. Coach, let's review last week. That's where we talked to you last week. 1-2 on the week, losing to Lowndes and Childs in between. We got an extra inning win against McClay. So let's talk with that Lowndes game, going to Valdosta, 3-0 deficit, and Bass just didn't come alive. We must have faced some pretty good pitching.
Yeah, I mean, we faced a decent arm. We hit a lot of balls hard that game. Just a lot of balls right at some guys. We that game for us was a pretty less than desired offensive performance. 'Cause I don't even think we got a runner to second base that game, which is very, very uncharacteristic of us.
Well, we only had 3 hits,
Yep.
but we only gave up 4.
That's
But they tend to score runs with their hits, which is
Sure.
the difference in the game.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, right now, especially based on that game, we just, we weren't able to string those hits together.
Right.
You know, I feel like right now we're playing a lot of tense baseball, not really, loose and having a lot of fun. Because we haven't been winning at a high rate, and when you're not winning at a high rate, it's usually not that fun. So we got to kind of find a way to play on our feet and redirect the momentum.
Yeah. Gabe Garcia got a hit. Ty Moses had 2 hits, but that was it offensively, and that's just not going to cut it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we hit some balls pretty well. I mean, probably the best offensive performance of that day was Kyler Watson. He hit 3 balls really hard, just right at some guys. We hit into a couple double plays. Jace hit a ball really, really hard at first baseman. He picked it, tagged first, and then threw the ball to second and got the runner second. So they had some fortunate things go their way.
Okay.
But and we didn't. So Kyler Watson hit a ball that the outfielder caught with his shoulder against the wall. The ball almost leaves the park. So, but overall, we're just offensively, we're just not putting ourselves in a good enough position to win the ball game right now.
Yeah.
Pitching wise, we did great. If we give up 3 runs, we should be able to score 3 runs offensively.
Yeah. Who started that game? Was it Easton?
Easton O'Quinn started the game. And he's usually pretty sharp, fastball, curveball, changeup for strikes. It's a turf field. I don't know if it was just the way the mound was structured or whatever. He just wasn't able to locate his fastball the way that he normally does, and I could tell it was just something off. So we went to Case Nickerson, and I mean, Case Nickerson just threw a gem. He threw 4.2 innings, one hit, and I think
Yeah.
yeah, one hit, 39 pitches. Just I mean, a great performance, good enough for us to win the ball game. And we just couldn't get it done offensively.
Yeah. And it just comes down to you can't win a game if you don't score any
Sure,
runs.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up was McClay. That was a home ball game, and that was one of the most exciting games that have been around in a while for Suwannee. Coming from behind and winning that game in the late innings, and then extra innings to win it.
Sure, yeah. Um, I think we started Kyler Watson. Kyler Watson pitched pretty well. The first inning, we took a lead. Jace led the game off with a home run. And then the second inning, they answered back with a 2-run home run. So McClay doesn't have a lot of players. I think they had like maybe 13 guys in the bench or on the team, but the 9 starters they had, they could swing it. I mean, they were hitting the ball hard. They were putting pressure on our offense or on defense. So we had to make some plays, but I mean, they swung the bats well.
I mean, you don't want to win a game like that as a coach. You would rather just get that big lead and just kind of lay back and cruise. But I mean, it says something about the team when they score 2 in the top of the 7th to take the lead.
Yeah.
And we come back, tie it up in the bottom, and then come in with a walk-off in the 8th inning. I mean, just talk about that's pretty exciting.
It was really exciting, man. You know, our guys kind of got down to the wire. We were down 2 outs, and we hadn't, we were still down a run. And Kyler Watson had a good clutch hit. Ty Moses hit a ground ball and was able to reach base. The guy bobbled the ball and just couldn't recover in time. And I feel like that's us being able to put pressure on teams. So when we don't strike out, we put pressure on their defense. They have to make a play, and then we go to the 8th, and they let off the inning. I think we let off with a walk. I'm not really sure how all it wound up, but they had to face Jace with no outs and bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. Jace was having a good night. I think at that time he was 3 for 4, so he was seeing the ball well, and he was able to get us a walk off single to win the game.
Yeah, you ended up going 4 for 5
Yeah.
in that ball game. So that's a good night with 4 RBI.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't care what level you're playing at.
Yeah, I mean, and that's we needed that, and that will probably segue into our next game conversation of how we did not win that game. Offensively right now we're kind of we're squandering some opportunities. We're not executing at a high enough level to score runs to apply pressure to defenses, and that's been the difference in the ball games. And the teams that we're playing are high level baseball teams.
Yeah.
So when you have an opportunity to execute and score a run, you need to execute, because if you don't, it's going to cost you the game.
And let me ask you this, Coach. You went up to Valdosta. You didn't score any runs last night. You scored 1. How do you stop your players from pressing?
Well, I try to tell these guys, I don't care if they get a hit. I don't care what their stats are. What I care is I want to see fight in the box. Like, I want to see them want to compete. Because I mean, in baseball, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, pitches. You're gonna lose at bats, but we can't lose our willingness to battle. And I do believe that we're missing some of that. So, as a coach, I'd like to motivate these guys to fight. However, we don't have a whole lot of time for you guys to figure out how to fight. Like, I can coach the baseball. I can't coach your desire. You have to have some desire. And so, unfortunately, we're in a spot to where it's like, if you're not going to fight, I've got other guys that will. So I mean, that's the way it's going to be next.
But you just want to see quality at bats.
That's right. That's all. That's all I want to see. I want to see when you leave that box. I want you to feel good about the battle, good about your result. Even like Kyler Watson, like I said, when we played Lowndes, Kyler Watson had the best offensive performance. He was over 3.
Yeah.
But he hit 3 balls hard, and he won all 3 of his at bats because he hit the ball hard. The stats are not going to show that. the stat report just reads 0 for 3, but
Yeah.
that's not the truth.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for out of these guys, is just to go up there and what it is they have to stop caring about their personal stats. They have to stop, they have to not worry about what they want, which is they want to be 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. Well, is that what's best for the team, for you to go up there and try to create that result? Because when we're trying to create a result, it makes me kind of deter away from my game plan. And my approach has to be stay above the baseball, drive the ball to the middle part of the field, and that's where our success is going to be. So if I go up there and I'm thinking lift the ball and try to get it out of the park, then my mechanics are going to break down and I'm not going to be successful. So
And I know you teach fundamentals, and it depends on the situation. What your approach would be, and what the count is, and protecting the plate with 2 strikes, and all those things, and on an individual basis, because baseball is a team sport, but it's also an individual sport.
sure. Well, and I'll give you an example of how individual performance can affect the team in a long run. So let's just say we're facing a Tennessee commit for an arm, right? We may get 1 or 2 hits off that guy in 5 innings, but we may make him throw 90 pitches in 5 innings.
Right.
And that may be like I could win all 3 of my bats and be 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah.
But if it took him 10 pitches to strike me out each at bat, that means he's thrown 30 pitches to just me. And now he's going to come out in the 5th instead of making it to the 7th.
Yeah.
And then in the 5th inning, we get the relief pitcher, and we score 3 or 4 runs off that relief pitcher. So that is how we can really capitalize on not being concerned with my result, but being concerned with the fight.
Yeah.
And
it kind of leads me into the next game, which was the Tallahassee trip, going to Childs. I had to move that game up a day Thursday because of incoming weather on Friday. But go over there and you get a pitching performance from Grayson, and we just expect him to be great. He gave up 1 first-inning run, but we tied it up in the 6th. It's a 1-1 ball game, and they got him to throw enough pitches, hit his pitch count, and we had to go to the bullpen. And next thing you know, we lose 5-1.
And the 1 run they scored was on an error, so we had an opportunity to turn a double play. We got the out at second. It was first and second situation. We got a ground ball. We go to turn the double play. We can't complete the double play. The ball goes to the dugout. The run from second, he ended up scoring on that play. So that's how they scored their first run. It was off of an error. And then, throughout the rest of the game, Hunter Watson comes up in, I think, the 5th, hits a home run to tie the game up. So, we're right there in that game. But we're making small minor mistakes. We led the game off. Gates led the game off with a hit. O'Quinn got a hit right behind him. So we go first and second right out of the gate, and we try to put down a bunt. We can't even execute a bunt. So when we can't execute a bunt to get those runners over into scoring position, that immediately puts pressure on the defense, because now a ground ball or a fly ball scores a run and they have to play from behind right away, which changes the whole demeanor of the game. But we weren't able to execute that, and then we go 3 strikeouts in a row. So when a pitcher goes hit 3 strikeouts in a row, he just hook the breath right out of us and put it right into his lungs. And so, high school baseball, like, momentum is a thing. And when a player believes that he's got the momentum and everything's going his way, then he's going to play at an elevated level.
Yeah. And again, it comes down. We got 3 hits in that ball game, so you got to take the opportunities when they come. But you got to give Childs credit. I mean, obviously they had some pretty good pitching. We only gave up. When you look at the stats, we only gave up 4 hits. They made 3 errors, and we only scored 1 run.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Well, like I said, when it comes down to it, we struck out 10 times. So instead of applying a little bit of pressure with a ground ball or a base hit behind these errors and and walks, we're striking out. And so, like I said, how do I motivate? Well, we we brought a couple guys up from JV. We've put some guys into the game that have not had some opportunities. And another thing is too, we are absolutely ambushed by injury right now. So
It's going
Garcia,
to be my next question.
yeah,
Now let's to a third.
Garcia did not play in that game. He's injured. Lopez did not play in the game. He's injured. Newman did not play in the game. He's injured. Nickerson did not play in the game. He's just tweaked up a little bit. So we have McDonald. McDonald hasn't played all year because he's injured. You know, Luke D's pitcher. He was sick. So like we've got a lot of stuff going. We haven't been complete the whole season. We haven't had our number one starting lineup
Right.
the entire season.
Well, we lost Noah early, and that had a big effect on us.
Yeah.
What is this time frame? When will he be coming back?
So Noah actually came back and played against McClay, but he was over 3 with 3 strikeouts, and he said that he was just kept feeling it in his back hamstring. So I mean, he's day to day. He's day to day right now. Garcia tweaked his groin, so you know, I, he's also day to day. Like, so we just don't know. Yeah, we hope these guys get back healthy quickly, especially. I mean, it's their senior season as well, so obviously, I want them back for the program, but like, I'm selfishly, I want them back for their senior year. I want them to have a good senior season. So
The beauty is that you get a second season. So if we can get everybody healthy by playoff time,
sure. Now we have a strong enough schedule to where I think that so long as we don't just really go into the tank, we should have no problem making the playoffs. That shouldn't be an issue.
You talk about a second season. Tell us where we are district wise and what's ahead. We do this every week, but
Yeah, so I really don't know. The only district opponent we play is Wolfson, and I don't know anything about those guys. So, like I said, I think that at the end of the season, if we're a 500 baseball team with this schedule that we're playing, there's not anybody in our district, or really, maybe one or two teams in our region that can compete with us. I mean, we're going to be stronger than ever, and hopefully, when we get everybody back in our lineup, we will be complete and really be able to play some good baseball.
for those that don't know, Suwannee, a 3A team in District 3. So Paxson, Stanton, Wolfson, and Baldwin are the other teams. And last year it came down to us and Baldwin in a series. Is the district tournament, when we get that, is it still structured the same, or have they changed that structure?
Yeah, no, it's still the same. It's it'll seed by strength of schedule, and then higher seed will have home field advantage, and then it's really just like a one game playoff. Until you find a district champion.
Obviously I don't know who these teams have played, but just looking at records, Paxson 7-0, Stanton 6-2, Wolfson 5-4, and Suwannee and Baldwin are both 4-5 at this point of the season.
Right. I would venture to say that Baldwin and Suwannee's schedules are far more competitive.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
would guess.
it's not close.
I'm just guessing that, but like I said, I haven't
I'm
analyzed.
guessing. I know.
Okay, well, you've actually looked at it, so
I know
yeah.
for sure.
But so through the first 9 games, and last year you pointed this out on the last sports report, but we had kind of struggled out the gate last year, and we turned it around after 9 games, 4-5. Just your assessment of where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say we're struggling. I mean, we're struggling against some of the best teams in the state and some of the best teams in the country. So, I mean, I really would prefer to be tested now against this level or caliber of baseball teams than I would to be 7-0 and not really play anybody. I stay pretty connected to all the programs in the surrounding area. There's a lot of teams that you can look at that are, 7-1 and 8-0, and they haven't seen anybody throwing a ball above 80 miles an hour yet. So.
Well, let's face it. I mean, we could have loaded up the schedule with a lot of 1A schools and schools that don't have the baseball tradition. And
correct. I mean, there is zero question that we could be 7-0, 8-0 right now. If I wanted to, construct the schedule that way, I absolutely could have. But that's not what's best for you, you know. So eh, if you want to make a playoff run, in my opinion, and there's there's two schools of thought. Um, at the same time, you don't want to put a schedule together that is so overwhelming that you
Yeah, you've hurt your
well,
confidence.
that you get used to losing. You don't want to get that. You don't want to do that. So, like I said, we our record is 4-5 right now, which is exactly the same spot we were last year when we won. I can't remember how many. It was like 11 or 15
Yeah.
in a row.
13 in a row.
13 in a row, and then 14 out of 15. So I think that you'll probably see something similar to that this year. And you know, we're also on the road a lot right now.
Yeah.
You know, so we're doing a lot of traveling, and then towards the end of the season, we'll play a lot more home games. Um, you know, that's kind of by design. You know, people don't really love to come watch baseball games when it's 28 degrees. Um, but they like coming and watching in April and May. And so most of our home games are in April and May. So the weather's nice. So there's really no excuse for people not to come and watch the Bulldogs play.
Yeah. Tom and I did a Suwannee softball game the other night, and it's available on River Country. You can check that out against Madison. But pretty neat atmosphere. But you know, with you guys not being there, that neat at you know what we like the atmosphere when both teams are playing at the
Sure,
same
yeah.
time, or
Yeah.
you know, one game before the other one, and it just kind of seemed odd just to have the baseball field idle behind it. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Well, there's a certain character that both fields have, the softball field and the baseball field. It just has this feeling of this just aura of character, and
Nostalgia.
yeah, it
But you
really
need to
does. It
move the
does.
water tower to center field at the baseball stadium because it does so much at the softball stadium. It sits in right field,
Yeah.
and you're sitting behind home plate, and you look out, and it looks like the old days when teams played the inner cities, and
Yeah.
you can see the
I
stuff in
don't
the
think we can
background.
move the water tower.
I was just gonna say, you know, I'll never say that I can't, but I just, man,
I don't see that as a
that's a tough one.
project to tackle.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
All right, coming up this week, looking a week ahead, you've got Wakulla. We're going to broadcast that game. That'll be on Tuesday night. So tell me a little bit about the War Eagles this year. Record-wise, they look like they might be fierce.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna be a talented baseball team. I know that they have a group of younger guys, probably freshmen, sophomore, that are gonna be talented. Um, I mean, my coaching staff, they'll ask me like, "What, coach? What do we need to? What are we doing? You know, how are we going to attack this game?" And the game plan doesn't change week to week. Um, we're pitching fine. You know, if we can give up 5 or less, we should win. We have not lost a game yet that we have given up more than 5.
Yeah.
So most of the games that we've lost have been 4-3 or less.
Right.
And then we've given up 5 runs 3 times, and we lost 2 of those.
Yeah.
So,
But again, I mean, you look back at the Cows game; it's a 1-1 ball game,
all
and
the way to the 6th.
so if we get run support early,
Yes.
yeah.
And so that's another thing too, and it's a point of emphasis for us is like, hey, it is so imperative for us to score runs early in the game because the later in the game, the harder they are to come by.
Yeah.
So
No doubt about it. So Wakulla is the home game, and that'll be Tuesday night. So no matter what the temperature is, come on out and support these Bulldogs. But then we've got 2 tough road games coming up
yeah.
next week. You're going to play at St. John's River College against Creekside on Wednesday, and then a trip to Gainesville to meet the Buchholz Bobcats on Friday.
Yeah. And Creekside's very talented baseball team, really, really good program. That's why we scheduled them. They're going to throw a really good arm against us. They've got a catcher that's going to North Carolina. I mean, they're really good, and so but we also have a lot of talent, and we're pretty good too. We just have to figure it out offensively. So
Yeah, and Buchholz, comment about them. They're normally traditionally very good.
they are. They've graduated a lot of guys. They have really good pitching. Buchholz is very, very similar to us right now in that they can pitch well. They're just offensively not able to produce enough runs to win ball games.
Yeah.
Even though they've pitched well enough to win ball games. So their record is also very similar to ours. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I think it's about 4-5 or or 3-6 or something like that. So they also lost a close ball game to Childs as well. So so that will be interesting how that ball game shakes out. But it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, Buholt's actually 2-4 right now
There you go.
on the
So,
season.
but that right there, that is not your average 2-4 baseball team. Like their strength of schedule is same as ours. Like they are just as talented as we are.
Well, I could tell you, I mean, there's two school of thoughts, like you said, building a schedule. I mean, you can go 20-1 or something and head
Sure.
to the postseason and then exit in the first round, or you could be that club that maybe is 17-9 or something like that,
No
or
doubt.
and
Well, when we
make
played
the run.
yeah, well, when we played Lowndes the same way. Their strength of schedule is unbelievable. When we played them, they were 2-4.
Yeah.
So when they beat us, they were 3-4, we were 3-4. And they've since lost a game since then. So they're kind of the same. Like a lot of these programs are adopting the strength of schedule. They are embracing that. They want to be challenged throughout the year. That way, when they get to the playoffs, they will be prepared.
I got to be pretty happy with Jace. Your son is having a tremendous season. He is hitting 448 through 9 games, on base percentage of 556. I mean, that's leadership right there.
I mean, it is, and it's really a little more impressive than what it reads on the paper because like we've said, you know, um, we've faced nothing but Division One arms. Very very talented arms, and so like even the guys that are hitting 300, like they're not hitting 300 against your average high school players. They are hitting 300 against elite level players.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you this metric that you gave us last year, and you were talking about the 5 runs. When you were talking about if you strike out more than 5 times in a game,
Yes.
how's that showing up this year?
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's almost to the game. When we strike out more than 5 times, we lose. When we strike out less than 5 times, we have a great chance to win.
When we were playing Lake City and I was counting those strikeouts, I was hoping you were right.
Yeah.
Because the way he was throwing it, there was no doubt in my mind we were going to win this game. And he is off to an unbelievable start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that we've struck out 5 times in the Columbia game. I mean, if you look at some of the like our team stats, the guys that are hitting higher in the order, those are your guys that don't strike out very often, and that's kind of like just as baseball in general when you talk about youth baseball. Which, by the way, I just came over from the rec park where the Suwannee Bombers are playing, and I just love watching those guys play. But like most of your hitters that are having success are not taking fastballs early. They're swinging the bat. They're not taking strikes. So they're being competitive. They're on offense. And that's something that we don't do well right now as a team. We got a couple of individuals that are going to swing the bat.
Yeah. But as a team hitting 239,
Right.
we got to pick that up.
Yeah, sure. And we look at it and objectively, how can we get better? Well, we take strikes a lot. So we'll take a first pitch strike, or we'll go ball one, ball two, and then we'll get a fastball down the middle and we'll take it. And I'm not really sure why we're doing that because like I want my guys to hit. And so that's a mental block that we have going on right now. And as far as like I said, like you asked, how do I motivate that? The only way I can motivate it is somebody wants to hit it. So if you're a guy that doesn't want to, then that's okay. You're gonna take a step to the side, and we're gonna let somebody else who wants to because we gotta have some runs. We gotta score runs.
Yeah.
Period.
Jace leads the team 3 home runs. I missed Hunter's home run.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He had a. I mean, he was a no doubter against Childs, and Hunter's huge. He's a big, strong guy. He hit a home run when he was a sophomore. Against Wakulla in a big game. So I know he's got home run power. And Hunter's a guy that he normally doesn't take a whole lot of pitches. He normally swings the bat. And right before the at bat, I told him, I said, hey, make it up in your mind. The first thing that he throws you this close, I want you to swing. I want you hammering the baseball here. And the guy just left the ball middle in, and he just demolished it. So
I'm so happy to hear that because I've sat down with a few coaches over the last 50 years,
mm,
and well, we want to make them throw strikes. So you want to be in the hole 0-1.
no,
I mean, I
I don't
don't
believe in
understand that either.
Yeah.
I do not believe in that because just like I said before, high school players play better when they are ahead or when they have a lead. So as a pitcher, I pitched in high school, and when I went 1-0, I felt like now I had to throw him a pitch that he wanted. He got to be selective. But when I could get ahead, now he had to hit my pitch. And so it's incredible how the mentality shift can affect your performance.
And you may, at this level, only get one good pitch to
That's
hit
right.
at bat.
That's exactly right. So, especially against the pitchers that we're facing, so if you get that pitch and you walk it, the next two balls may not be anything that you can hit. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of. So we're in the game the other night against McClay, and it's 3-0, and I give Kyler Watson the green light to swing. When the bases were loaded with no outs in the bottom of the eighth, the count was 3-0, and I gave Jace the green light. I want my guy swinging the bat.
Yeah.
So
And if it's 3-0 and you normally you're going to get, the pitcher's just going to try to throw a strike.
oh yeah,
Groove one. So
yeah. So this is a great opportunity because it's got to be perfect, or you just don't swing.
Right.
So it's a win-win right there. Like I said, the confidence we've got to build up our confidence a little bit. And we have to be on offense. We can't be playing defense with a bat in our hand.
Well, talking about defense, we've talked about the pitching and the hitting. How is the defense this year? You happy with that?
I mean, we've made a couple timely errors, but overall, again, we've just right now my starting shortstop is Easton O'Quinn, a ninth grader, because my whole middle infield is injured.
yeah, consider that now because Easton was started on a third. Noah was at second. Gabe is short. If you still had the combination,
Oh yeah,
and consistently had that combination.
yeah, and that's the thing too is a lot of baseball is rhythm, and we haven't really found our defensive rhythm because we are just moving guys around constantly.
But we haven't forgot fundamentals.
No, we haven't forgotten fundamentals. So that's the whole other thing too is yes, you're playing out of position. However, it's still a ground ball. We just field it and throw it first. Let's don't make it more complicated than it is. That's really all we're doing. So at the end of the day, you know, one of my favorite scenes in all of any baseball movie is, Bull Durham. The coach tells him, he says, "This is a simple game. You throw the ball, the ball, and you catch the ball." And that's
Just a bit outside.
so. So it really is not as hard as it is made out to be. Sometimes I think we can really make it difficult. I tell these guys, just kind of lighten the mood. Say, hey, we're just hitting the baseball. We're not doing like Chinese trigonometry or anything like that, guys. I mean, it's not that hard. This is not Miss McMillan's class.
Speaking of the freshmen, O'Quinn is just quietly having a good season. Offensively, he's hitting over 300.
Yeah.
On base percentage over 500. He's stolen 3 bases. Playing defense, doing what he has to do. Maybe he's more comfortable here, but he's doing what he has to do for the team. So,
Right.
I mean, for a freshman, I mean, it's been pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah, like I said, when we talk about confidence, we talk about your ability to not overcomplicate things. That's he just has the ability to realize like, okay, I'm hitting in the 2 hole. It doesn't matter if I'm hitting 2 hole or 9 hole. I still have to hit. We've started him against Lowndes. We've started him in some big baseball games, and it doesn't matter if you're the starter or the reliever. You just got to come in and throw strikes and do your job. And the moment doesn't seem to phase him either way. And some guys they get a little too amped up and they can't handle the pressure and that's something that we have to be able to work those guys in and get them used to it. But yeah, he's I mean, Easton does not play like a freshman.
No, he
He
doesn't.
does not play
Doesn't look like a freshman and
No.
play like a freshman.
No, he looks like a 30-year-old welder. You know.
Well, he's a freshman and he's up here on the varsity, and we haven't asked you how the JVs are doing.
Yeah.
So the JV right now, I think they're 1-4. A lot of the same stuff. Like they're actually not hitting bad, but they'll get 2 hits, and then won't be able to score a run after the 2 hits. So they're a lot of the same, just not being able to get that timely hit and score some runs. So a statistic that I would love to find out, which I haven't looked back at it because we played 3 days in a row, but I would be willing to bet that our left on base number is
Yeah.
very significant.
Well, the Columbia game, which we talked about, and Grayson pitched so well. I mean, early in that game, we were leaving guys on base, and we were starting to have doubts. Are we
Yeah.
going to score enough runs to give Grayson support?
I mean, if you look back at that, we score 1 run each inning. We're close to a run rule. I mean, you add the runs we scored late. If we'd have scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, the whole game changes.
Yeah.
And so those, you never know which run is going to make the other team lay down. So,
Yeah, another guy just to brag on quickly who's having a really nice season is Colton Rogers. You mentioned Ethan, whether he bats here or there. Colton's in that 9 spot, and he's hitting 296 on the year, plus giving you great pitching performances. I mean, he's had a good year.
he has. I mean, and he's a guy. He's a guy that we don't ask too much of him. And he's just he's able to answer the call every time. I think that the best is yet to come for Colton.
Wow.
He is a high level hitter. He's a high level player, and we're going to be put in some situations where he's going to come through for us and win some ball games.
Well, he's a sneaky number 9 hitter.
Yes,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the part where I scratch my head over. Just look at the roster. I just look at the talent on this team, and for us to be 4 and 5 is just a head scratcher to me.
Well, like I said, we're not 4 and 5 against average teams.
No, I know.
But at the same time, our hitting performances from the middle of our order.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying it here because I've said it to them, and they'll tell you if they were here too. We're better than what we're showing right now.
Yeah,
So
I believe that.
if we can get those middle guys, the middle of that lineup, to perform at their potential, then we will not be able to. Nobody will be able to hold up with us.
All right. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back after this. It's the Suwannee Sports Report, the Diamond Dog Podcast here on RiverCountrySports.com.
In the heart of the red zone is where the game is won, and you need a dealership that knows about scoring big. At Roundtree Moore Ford, we've scored this area's largest selection of new and pre-owned inventory. And right now, we're scoring rates as low as 0%. It's time to get out of the stands and score big in the Roundtree Moore Ford red zone. At Roundtree Moore Ford, the customer always wins. So make your next ride a touchdown at RoundtreeMoreFord.com today.
You were there at the beginning. You stood behind me, guiding me through good times and bad, teaching me lessons I wouldn't appreciate until later, preparing me for the day when you couldn't be here. What you've given me, I'll carry wherever I go. And because of your planning, I know I'll go far.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Excellence in academic and clubs. Tradition, family, future. Foundations for lifelong learning. Leadership begins here. Careers start here. Curiosity meets opportunity. Building the leaders of tomorrow. Learning begins with love. One district, every student, every day. The Suwannee County School District, my choice for high quality education.
And welcome back to the Suwannee Sports Report. Got Coach Billy Moran kind of going over the baseball season. We mentioned we broadcast a softball game the other night from Suwannee High School. And, Tom, we're about to do a first. We have a Suwannee Middle School that is up and loaded on the channel. Happened earlier today. And so you can go and check that out. But what do you think? Suwannee Middle School took on Mayo, and our first ever middle school broadcast brought to you by Cameron Concrete.
Oh, I think it's great. And, I talked to you before we even did all this. And being able to keep Suwannee sports, I don't care if it's girls softball, I don't care if it's the tennis team or the swim team, having some kind of media that's not your telephone or Facebook where you can follow your sports. And, once upon a time we had 2 newspapers and, we had a radio station and you could find us everywhere. And now this is it. And I want this to stay. And, I don't have to tell you how fast it's growing. You can see how many, how technically solvent I am, how many hits you're getting, for a game. And I think it's great, and hey, I wish somebody would come along and say, hey, here's a couple of dollars. How about we do some rec games?
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
We're all about it. So
Yeah.
if you got those dollars, get a hold of me and we'll work that out. But as far as middle school softball, we're going to do the game on the 10th, and that'll be against Stark, and the game on the 13th against Port St. Joe. Those are all home
Yeah, but you
games.
have to mention the one game is like the student body game.
Yeah, that'll be the Port St. Joe at 2:00 start. And anyway, so and then the game against Mayo is on the channel. So check that out. That occurred earlier today. We will see you Tuesday night against Wakulla.
Yes, sir, you will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Yes.
We'll be there. And what is the thing they're building in the middle now?
Oh, that's a softball batting cage. So Coach Gaby,
You're gonna have locker rooms in there, and
I don't know
some
if they're gonna-
plans.
I don't know what the plans are with it. Coach Gaby's kind of spearheaded that project. So, yeah. So
That's
Just
the thing
leave a
people don't
spot for me to
understand.
park. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that you guys do so much work, softball, baseball, is on your own facilities.
Yeah.
Whether it's just taking care of the field, whether it's building, stands for the river crew or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever it is you do. I mean, you guys, constantly just upgrading and beautifying.
Yeah, we're like Jacksonville. Construction never ends.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, do you have one of those carts like softball has where they drive around and
Yeah,
do the infield?
we do.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because it was kind of impressive. The one that the guy who was driving it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how good a job he did, but he could drive it very well.
Yeah, we have one of those. We've got all kinds of stuff over there. We've got our own reel mower for our field, so we're doing pretty well.
All right.
Well, we'll find some hits over there, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're looking.
Yeah.
And that's going to wrap up this edition of the Suwannee Sports Report. The Sports Report airs live Mondays, 7:00 right here on the channel. Then it's, of course, archived for you to watch anytime. The Suwannee Sports Report presented by Roundtree Moore Ford, Highway 90 in Lake City, Florida. Really appreciate those guys, Stephen Jones, the whole crew. Thank you very much for supporting local sports here on the channel. It's also brought to you in part by Van Carpet One, by Farm Bureau Insurance, and by the Suwannee County School District. If you would like to become a supporter, we'd love to hear from you. Our email address, easy way to get a hold of me, is rivercountrysports@gmail.com. That's going to wrap up the broadcast. So for Tom Daniels, for Coach Billy Moran, I'm Wayne Littrell. Our streaming producer was Sawyer Brooks. We'll see you next week here on the Suwannee Sports Report.